here in Pullman, getting ready for collegiate swimming out of the Pac-12. The Utah Utes and the Washington State Cougars from Gibb-Pool in Pullman. Should be a fun dual meet between these teams. Wearing tech suits here this afternoon into this evening in Pullman. So we should see some fast times, some great competition between the Utes and the Cougars. We'll have 2 breaks in the races this evening. The first set will be the 200 medley relay, followed by the 1,000 freestyle. Then we go into the 200 free, the 100 back, the 100 breast, the 200 butterfly, and the 50 free before our first break. Second set of races, we have the 100 free, 200 back, 200 breaststroke, 500 free, and 100 fly. Then there'll be a final 10-minute break into a 200 individual medley and a 400 freestyle relay. A reminder, each swimmer can swim a maximum of 4 events. Relays place 11 points, 4 points, and 2 points for the top 3 finishers. Only the top 2 relays from each team are scored. Individuals score 9, 4, 3, 2, 1 in that order. Only the top 3 contestants from each team will be scored. And we open with the 200-yard medley relay. Washington State's A will be in lane 3. That's Anna Rockholtz, Emily Lundgren, Sam Crew, Selena Duran. Utah's A in lane 4, Nora Hay, Alyssa Sorensen, Hilja Skimmel, and Reagan Cathcart. Washington State B in lane 5, Kiana Swain, Haley Grotti, Clara Anderson, Emma Wright. Utah B in lane 6, Emma Lemler, Crystal Liu, Kim Lanigan, and Madeline Wozniak. In Washington State C, Michaela Poloni, Alexandra Vartiana, Kaya Takashige, Addie Lewis up in lane 7. See right now a strong lead at the bottom of your screen for lane 3. Anna Rockholtz opening this 200-yard medley. On to Emily Lundgren, it goes in the second spot. Lundgren already has almost a full body length advantage over the field. And the breaststroke here of this relay, Team A for Washington State in the lead. Very close between Utah's B and actually Washington State's C up top in lane 7. Is Alexander Vartianen in the second spot. It's over to Sam Crew now. Crew swimming the fly, bottom of the screen, lane 3 for the leading relay of Washington State. And maybe out in front now in lane 5, Clara Anderson for Washington State, maybe into second in lane 5, mighty close. It is Washington State's B relay there. The A relay team running away with it right now, and a great time coming with Selena Duran looking to close it out for Anna Rockholtz, Emily Lundgren, Sam Crew, and Selena Duran. 1:39.13 is the Washington State record. It'll be a little longer than that. The Cougars, though, take first and second. Their A and B relays, 141.04, 142.51, followed by Utah's A at 142.52. So good finishing positions for Washington State right out of the gates. Gets the Cougars out to a quick 15-2 advantage after the 200-yard medley relay. Take us into a longer race, a 1,000-yard freestyle. (20 laps here in the 1,000-yard freestyle for these two teams. Competing for Utah in lane 2 is Cameron Daniel. Lane 3 for WSU, Lauren Willie. Lane 4 for Utah, Marlene Sandberg. Washington State's Hannah Huarte in lane 5. In lane 6 is Taylor Cabesi of Utah. Josie Liebzeit in lane 7 for WSU. S.A. Yildirim of Utah in lane 8. So 7 lanes occupied up top above lane 1. Lanes 2 through 8 hear the Washington State drum line has made its way in here in the 1,000 free. Early leader is in lane 3 for WSU, Lauren Willie. Willie for the Cougars, a sophomore out of Oswego, Illinois. Qualified in the 1650, the National Invitational Championships last year. Won in the 500 free against Idaho last year. Former third-ranked Illinois, but Oswego, Oregon, pardon me. Third-ranked in the state of Oregon, Lake Oswego High School, coming out of high school. So Lauren Willie there in that spot. Inside of her, bottom of your screen, Cameron Daniel for Utah. Second in this event in Los Angeles. Utah swam there against UCLA, USC, and UC San Diego. Also, Daniel was second in the 500 free. Maybe working out into the lead now up in lane 6. Taylor Cabasy of Utah. Third place finish in this event in Los Angeles. A senior from Tacoma, Washington. But overtaken at the last turn by Lauren Willie, was the early leader for Washington State. Fourth right now in the pack is Hannah Huarte of WSU. Huarte is a freshman from Sammamish, Washington, out of Eastside Catholic High School. Her mom swam at UW. Her aunt track and field at Notre Dame. Had another aunt who played golf at Cal. And then her grandpa was a 1964 Heisman Trophy winner at Notre Dame. Won a Super Bowl with Kansas City. Kansas City is, of course, headed back to the Super Bowl in another week. Very close right now through the top 3 in this race. That being Lauren Willie, Cameron Daniel, and Taylor Cabasy. Daniel, bottom of your screen. Willie is the second cap you see up. Wazoo white caps for Washington State. Utah in the garnet with the double U logo. We'll get a check on times here this next time back. It is Daniel followed by Willie, separated by just 0.15 of a second. And then about 0.20 behind that, Cabasy the leader. So those 3 are setting a nice pace right now. Fourth belongs to Huarte of Washington State. Marlene Sandberg of Utah is in 5th. And then 6th and 7th belong to Utah's Eshe Yildirim and Josie Liebzeit of Washington State. So Cameron Daniel holding the lead, this time lengthening out by about 0.05 of a second on the last lap. But it appears that Lauren Willie has made up some of that ground. Daniel, Willie, Cabasy, Sandberg, Huarte, Yildirim, Liebzeit, 1 through 7 right now. Washington State taking the top 2 spots in the opening race, the 200-yard medley relay. Cougars A relay in first, their B relay in second, ahead of Utah's A. We know Washington State has really put some focus on the relays over the last couple of years. These 2 teams met earlier this year, Texas A&M. They were in the same event. Washington State came out with more points in that Art Adamson invite, and that was even with the diving scores of Utah. There will be no diving tonight in Pullman. Just swimming here between the Utes and the Cougars. Check in at this point. And Cabasi's now taking the lead for Utah, followed by Daniel and then Willie. And they are all separated by 0.16 of a second. Then it's Sandberg, Huarte, Yildirim, and Liebzeit. Over halfway through in the 1,000 free, second event of the night. That was the 12th lap of 20 for these swimmers. Still Cabasi, Daniel, Willie, Sandberg, Huarte, Yildirim, Liebzeit. Cabasi's really started to open up now a little bit. Over half a second on the field, Daniel and Willie. Largest lead that's been owned out there for Cabasi. Cabasi this year has posted a top time in the 500 free in her career, 450 and 75 hundredths. And again, worth note that both teams wearing their tech suits here for action in Pullman. You see Cabasi out in front. That lead now is almost a full second on her teammate Daniel, with Willie for Washington State following up in third. So Utah has a chance to try to come back and claim a couple of the top spots after Washington State had the first two places in the 200-yard medley relay. 3/4 of the way home in the 1,000 free. And the lead for Cabasi is now over a second. 1.22 seconds, the advantage for Cabasi. Current pacing coming up on 8 minutes. 7 minutes and 52 seconds right now. 16 laps completed. See the boards down there with 33 on them. 34th touch coming on this near side to the wall. And it takes 40 here in this 25-yard pool to complete the 1,000-yard freestyle. Cabasi leading by 1.5 seconds now. Willie is almost a full second behind Daniel, so a little bit more spacing now between 1, 2, and 3. Still Sandberg in 4. Yildirim now has moved up to 5th. Huarte in 6th. Liebzeit in 7th for Washington State. And Cabasi's lead is almost 2 seconds now over Cameron Daniel. Daniel second a couple times in this event. USC, UCLA. Won a 16:50 free in the mile against UNLV. But second right now, you hear the bell ringing out for Taylor Cabasi. Trying to win for Utah. Cabasi over 2 seconds ahead of her teammate Daniel. Willie is about a second and a half behind that in third for Washington State. Cabasi, top of your screen. Gonna touch first for Utah in the 1,000 free. In second is Daniel, followed by Willie for WSU. Fourth will belong to Sandberg. And it'll be Yildirim in 5th, Huarte in 6th, and Liebzeit in 7th. And you see the time for Kabasi, 9:58.28, 2 seconds off a Gib Pool record. About a second ahead of Daniel and 3 seconds ahead of Willie, the top 3 finishers there in just over 10 minutes. So a nice showing by Kabasi. We head to the 200-yard free now as the third event here in this first grouping. Again, we have the 100 back and breast to come, 200 fly, 50 freestyle before we will take a 15-minute break, the first break in this dual meet. In the 200-yard freestyle, we have 2-time finals. Isabella Rizzo of Utah in lane 2 here in this first. Dori Hatazi in lane 3 for Washington State. Summer Stanfield in lane 4 for Utah. Angela DePaulo of Washington State in lane 5. Lily Milner of Utah in lane 6. Sam Crew from WSU in lane 7. And Kyla Yetter in lane 8 for Utah. In 200 free here. And it would appear maybe the slightest advantage for Summer Stanfield lane 4. Actually goes Milner, Stanfield, Hatazi, DePaulo, followed by Crew, Risso, Yetter. First and second separated by 0.03 of a second in Milner and Stanfield for Utah. Now it would appear the lead is opened up for Milner up in lane 6. And Milner is the first this time. Milner by 0.6 of a second now, a little over half a second lead for Lily Milner in lane 6. Milner third in the 200 free in Los Angeles, a sophomore from Kalispell, Montana, being challenged by Summer Stanfield, who has 4 top 3 finishes from the California weekend. Has combined this season with Nora Hay of Utah for 15 victories. Still right now, Milner, Hatazi, Stanfield, DePaulo, then Risso, Crew, Yetter. Hatazi's moved into second for Washington State. Hatazi out of lane 3, second lane in on your screen, and Hatazi starting to overtake the field, coming from behind for Washington State. Dori Hatazi for the Cougars, hunted her spot, the sophomore touches first. 1:48.51 for Hatazi. Nearly a pool record. Finishes ahead of Stanfield and Milner for Utah. Then it was DePaulo, Risso, Crew, and Yetter. But Dori Hatazi with win number 5 on the season and 13th of the career for the sophomore from Hungary. Sophia Carlson, Molly Jacobson, Abby Pope, and Chloe Thompson. Lanes 2, 4, 6, and 8 for Utah will swim a second heat in this 200-yard free. It's a big comeback for Washington State from Dori Hatazi. Staying in that third spot behind teammates of Stanfield and Milner for Utah. See right now lane 4 in this second heat, Molly Jacobson has the advantage in this grouping for the Utes. Jacobson, a junior from not too far away, Meridian, Idaho, down in the Boise area. Pretty accessible to Pullman. Good back and forth already. Washington State took the top 2 spots in the 200-yard medley relay. Utah took the top 2 spots in the 1,000-yard freestyle. And then the Utes took second and third in the 200-yard freestyle, but it was Dori Hatazi here coming from behind to take the advantage over the Utes. Likely to see the score flip back to Washington State's side. Maybe a couple more points here after this third event here in this first session. 3 kind of groupings of races tonight. As we mentioned, still the 100 back and breast, 200 fly, 50 freestyle to come. And for Utah, it was Abby Pope first. You see the times there, followed by Molly Jacobson, and then Chloe Thompson and Sophia Carlson. Will take us into the 100 back. Just one heat here in the 100 back. Lane 1, Ellie Moss of Washington State. Anna Rockholtz in lane 3 for Washington State. Nora Hay in lane 4 for Utah. Kiana Swain in lane 5 for WSU. Emma Lemler in lane 6 for the Utes. Michaela Poloni in lane 7 for the Cougars. Watch out for Nora Hay in this event. Was 17th in the 200 back, 15th in this event, the 100 back at the Pac-12s last year. 6th fastest time in Utah history. Kiana Swain for WSU, second in this event against UCLA, won in the 200 last year against Idaho. 3 career wins for Swains. You see this great crowd on hand for Senior Day. We also have Anna Rockholtz in this for Washington State. Rockholtz, a win in the 100 back against the Bruins. Pardon me, it was 200 back for Swain that she won against UCLA. National Invitational Championships last year for Rockholtz, and a former Oregon State champion in the 100 back. Maybe the favorite in this event number 4 here this evening. So Rockholtz will be in lane 3. They're going through the lane assignments here. 7 Cougar seniors were recognized before the meet. WSU trying to win here at Gibb Pool this evening. The Cougars have Idaho coming up over the short 9-mile trip to Moscow tomorrow. So a good opportunity for friends and family that are in attendance to catch the Cougs twice on this weekend, with that being a very drivable trip tomorrow. We're still working on getting updated scores after our last event, the 200 freestyle. 100 back here right now. It is Anna Rockholtz, the early advantage. Rockholtz in that blue suit, second from the bottom of your screen. First half of the 100 back complete. Rockholtz, Swain, Hay, Poloni, Lemler, and Moss. Good showing from Swain in second for the Cougars, and a great battle between her and Hay. Just hundreds of seconds separating those two into the final 25. Anna Rockholtz has first locked up for the Cougars. Gonna win again in the 100 back. Utah able to come back to take second thanks to the effort of Nora Hay, followed by Kiana Swain, and then Michaela Poloni, Emma Lemler, and Ellie Moss. The rest of the way to the finishes. Another win for Anna Rockholtz in her Washington State career. We mentioned already beat UCLA in this event this year. Second win of the season, fifth of the career for Rockholtz. And you see the times there. Rockholtz a little over half a second off a give pull record. Again, we expected fast swims this evening. Tech suits for both WSU and Utah. The 100-yard breaststroke up next. 8 competitors in the first heat. And Utah will have one, Annalise Hedges, in the second. For this first heat, Kayataka Shige is in lane 1. You saw Kaya there for a moment. Followed by Alyssa Sorensen of Utah in lane 2. Emily Lundgren for Washington State in lane 3. Erin Palmer of the Utes in lane 4. Alexandra Vartianen of WSU in lane 5. Hilja Skimmel in lane 6 for Utah. Haley Grotti in lane 7 for the Cougars. And Crystal Liu in lane 8 for Utah. That white tech suit will belong to Hilja Skimmel. She will stick out in the pool. Skimmel, a sophomore from Sweden. Third in the 50 free this year against USC, one of the standout performances. And again, still 2 races pending on the score on your screen. We will get those updated. You can tell down below things are not moving as quickly as they normally do. I think they've had a couple issues with the scoring system so far this evening. They're trying to sort those out. They're still tracking it over there, but keeping track of things below, all these officials and the crew here in Pullman at Gibb Pool. Our tally has it 43-30 in favor of Washington State. That is after 4 events. 3 more to go before we take a 15-minute break here this evening. They're going through the lane assignments that we already shared with you here in the 100-yard breaststroke. Gibb Pool record of 1 minute and 14 hundredths of a second is owned by Emily Lundgren. Lundgren at 1 minute and 14 hundredths of a second. Lundgren in lane 3 for the Cougars. Now Lundgren is tremendous in these events. 3 season wins, 14 in the career. Had a B qualifying time in the 100 breaststroke last year for the Cougars. Out of Chula Vista, California. Has maybe half a body length lead out in first for the Cougars halfway through. 28.48 hundredths for Lundgren, almost a full second ahead of second place. Erin Palmer. Lundgren has family in attendance up from California on this weekend and leading into the final 25 yards. Lundgren followed by Palmer. Cougars have a chance for first and third. Trying to race to it is Alexandra Vartianen for the Cougars, battling with Alyssa Sorensen of Utah. And it is Vartianen edging out Sorensen for third. Lundgren wins once again in her Washington State career. 4th win of the season, 15th on the career for Lundgren. And the Cougars take first and third between Lundgren and Vartianen, and Palmer of Utah in second. As we said, Annalise Hedges will swim alone in this heat in lane 4. Hedges for the Utes, a junior from Arvada, Colorado. Utah did post times earlier this season against Colorado Mesa in the 150 breaststroke. Cougars will be able to expand their lead a little more with first and third in this 100-yard breast. Still the 200 fly and the 50 free before we take a break here in Pullman. Down the home stretch for Annalise Hedges. And Hedges touching at 104.99 . Emily Lundgren with the victory in the 100-yard breaststroke for Washington State. And we go to the 200 fly. Jules Springer of Washington State in lane 1. Sydney Even of Utah in lane 2. Dori Hatazi for the Cougars in lane 3. Hatazi already a victory earlier. Kim Lanigan in lane 4 for Utah. Ariel Wang in lane 5 for WSU. Mila Ruthven in lane 6 for Utah. And Malika Yalcin in lane 7 for Washington State. 55-37 now the advantage for WSU after the 100 breasts. So 200 fly up next. WSU definitely has its sights set this weekend on trying to claim dual victories against both Utah and Idaho. Again, the Cougars swim tomorrow against their regional rivals, the Vandals, at 10 a.m. over in Moscow. You can catch them there in the pool facility right next to Memorial Gym. So Springer, Even, Hatazi, Lanigan, Wang, Ruthven, and Yalcin. Lanes 1 through 7 here for the 200 fly. Good job holding underwater in lane 5 for Ariel Wang. Wang last time at home claimed her first victory 200 individual medley against USC at a time of 2:04 and 0.6 seconds. Freshman who's from Taiwan, also McKinney, Texas. Being pushed inside by Kim Lanigan. Dori Hatazi, don't forget about her in lane 3. Hatazi really a specialist in the fly for the Cougars. 200 fly NCAA B time, won against USC, 1:59 and 93 hundredths. And Hatazi kind of right there, in fact taking over first now ahead of Lanigan and Wang. Then Springer, Even, Ruthven, and Yalcin. Hatazi trying to lengthen out for a second victory. Hatazi already a winner in the 200-yard free. Dori Hatazi, the record holder in this at Gibb Pool, and into the final 50. Hatazi, Lanigan, and Wang, 1, 2, 3. Tight race between 3 swimmers for 4th. Dori Hatazi has control of first for the Cougars, trying to rattle off another win for WSU. Could be the 4th consecutive for the Cougars. Dori Hatazi looking for her second of the evening, and Hatazi touches first at 1:59.72. Just outside of an NCAA B time. In second, Kim Lanigan, Ariel Wang in third. And then Jules Springer, followed by Malika Yalcin, Sydney Even, and Mila Ruthven. See the finishing times there. And one more event here before we take our first break this evening. Tazia's second win in the 50 free, 2 heats. Second heat will be all Cougars. Addie Lewis in lane 1 for WSU in his first heat. Madeline Wozniak in lane 2 for Utah. Emma Wright in lane 3 for WSU. Erin Palmer in lane 4 for Utah. Selena Duran in lane 5 for Washington State. Reagan Cathcart's in lane 6 for Utah. Angela DiPaolo lane 7 for WSU. Sophia Carlson lane 8 for Utah. And what is now a 28-point advantage for the Cougars before, again, the final event taking us into a break this evening. That's scheduled for 15 minutes. Hang around in case it gets squeezed down into 10. Sometimes we'll see that happen. There'll be 5 events coming up after that, and then a 10-minute break before we get into the 200 individual medley and 400 freestyle relay to cap it. First of these 2 heats in the 50 free. Erin Palmer of Utah, great start in lane 4. Palmer trying to keep that pace down the stretch. Palmer being pushed inside by Emma Wright of WSU, outside by Reagan Cathcart of Utah. It goes Palmer, Cathcart, and then Wright, 1, 2, 3. Palmer at a time of 23.32. Cathcart just 0.02 of a second behind, and Wright 0.05 of a second behind that, 1, 2, 3. So the second heat of Skylar Burgach, lane 3, Clara Anderson, lane 5, Alexis Doherty, lane 7. All 3 Cougars in the second heat. Good opportunity for Erin Palmer. Leads the team for Utah with 11 wins on the season. Could have number 12. Would be the 5th meet in which she's won the 50 free. Burgach 23 and 4/10, 24-3-4 for Anderson. Doherty 23-8-8 for the Cougars as we take our first break in Pullman this evening. Back in Pullman, Utah and Washington State Pac-12 dual meets here on the women's swimming side of things. Trevor Williams, our Pac-12 Plus crew with you from Pullman. So glad to have you with us. Where right now it is the Cougars leading 74-57. That after the first 7 events, Washington State won 5 of the first 7. Utah took the opening relay. Cougars 5 of the 6 individual events. We're into the 100-yard freestyle. Couple heats of this. Haley Grotti, lane 1 for WSU. Isabella Risso, lane 2 for Utah. Emma Wright of WSU in lane 3. Lily Miller of Utah in lane 4. Selena Duran, lane 5 for Washington State. Erin Palmer in lane 6 for Utah. Angela DiPaolo, lane 7 for WSU. Madeline Wozniak, lane 8 for Utah. Coming back towards the halfway point. Lead appears to be lane 5, Selena Duran for Washington State. Actually dead even with lane 8, Madeline Wozniak of Utah. The two an identical 24 and 67 hundredths of a second. Quick turn down the stretch, taking over on the inside. Emma Wright of Washington State here in the 100-yard free. Wright trying to finish it. The sophomore, who's won twice in her career, takes first in this heat, followed by Duran and DiPaolo. WSU 1, 2, 3. Then Wozniak, Milner, Risso, and Palmer. What a job, though, by Emma Wright of Washington State taking over in lane 3 there. The second heat will be Skylar Burgach, Sophia Carlson, Burgach of Washington State, Carlson at Utah, Addie Lewis for WSU, Kyla Yetter for Utah, Alexis Doherty for Washington State. Potentially the first win of the season for Emma Wright. Wright, a Houston transfer who won a state championship in Hobart, Indiana in this event. Good job by Skylar Burgach getting going in lane 3. Burgach lane 3. Yetter lane 6, Doherty lane 7. They are the top 3. Burgach, Yetter, Doherty, Carlson, Lewis. 1 through 5. Burgach opening up some space. Sophomore from Aurora, Colorado. Swam in this event at the Pac-12 Championships. Burgach in lane 3 in the second heat. Will claim that for Washington State, followed by Yetter of Utah, Carlson of Utah, Doherty for WSU, and Lewis for WSU. In that heat, Skylar Burgach top time of 50 and 78/100ths. But Emma Wright for the Cougars claiming heat 1, giving Washington State its 6th win. And it is now 90-60 Washington State. 16 of 19 points there for the Cougars. And into the 200-yard backstroke we go. So 200 backstroke, lanes look like this. Michaela Poloni in lane 1 for WSU. Emma Lemler in lane 2 for Utah. Kiana Swain of Washington State in lane 3. Summer Stanfield lane 4 for Utah. Ariel Wang lane 5 for WSU. Nora Hay of Utah in lane 6. Anna Rockholtz for Washington State lane 7. Rockholtz already a winner earlier in the 100 back. Lead Kiana Swain though here in the 200. And Swain, you got a middle of your screen right now, blue tech suit, white cap. It's her, Hay, Stanfield, Wang at the last turn. Swain of WSU, second in this event against UCLA. Won it against Idaho last year. One of the seniors honored from New Zealand who has 3 career wins in crimson and gray. Swain out in front of Summer Stanfield for Utah. Stanfield, second place 200 back in Los Angeles against both UCLA, USC. Won twice in this event against Colorado Mesa. Graduate senior from St. John's, Florida. Stanfield overtaking Swain, and Stanfield out in front. Stanfield ahead of Hay, her teammate from Utah. Then followed by Swain, Wang, Rockholtz, Poloni, and Lemler. Summer Stanfield coming back for the victory and a win for her against Pac-12 competition in the 200 back. Nora Hay second there, Kiana Swain third. Ellie Moss will swim in a second heat for Washington State. Moss, a sophomore from Minnesota, finished in the top 10s in Minnesota high school state championships. Qualified for the National Invitational Championships last year at the Pac-12 championship meet, 50 and 200 back this event. Were qualifying times there. For Utah, should be their third event win. Summer Stanfield first win of the evening. Still the 200-yard breaststroke, the 500 freestyle, and the 100 fly coming up before we will have a break of 10 minutes. That's before the individual medley and the freestyle relay. Ellie Moss through the first quarter. We'll be coming up on one half of the race now. Great environment in Pullman here tonight. The Washington State drumline in attendance from the Cougar Marching Band. A really great crowd. There are some high school district championships going on. They were going on earlier today at Gibb Pool. They'll continue tomorrow. So there are some high school swimmers out here taking this in as well, watching these collegiate women go to work in Pac-12 competition tonight, Washington State and Utah. Moss will have 50 to go, 150 through here in the backstroke. It was Swain, it was Stanfield, Hay, Swain. 1, 2, 3 in the first heat. Utah a chance to take a couple of the top spots in this race in the 200 back. Ellie Moss finishing off heat number 2. It has been Washington State's meet so far tonight. And Moss finishes a time of 2:08.97. Summer Stanfield the victory, first in Pac-12 competition in the 200 back for Stanfield. They'll take us into the 200-yard breaststroke. Interesting 2 heats here, an all Utah heat and then all Washington State. So for Utah, Annalise Hedges, Hilja Skimmel, Crystal Liu, Alyssa Sorensen, lanes 2, 4, 6, and 8. For Washington State, Emily Lundgren in lane 3, Alexandra Vartian in lane 5 in the second heat. And we will try to do our best to keep an eye on times in this one, as you have Lundgren very talented in the second heat for Washington State. Utah has some top performers here, including Hilja Skimmel, who specializes in the breaststroke. Crystal Liu won this event against LSU earlier this year, also against UNLV. It does look like some changes have been made here, though, from what the heat sheet was showing. Emily Lundgren is in lane 3. This makes more sense to have her in this initial heat instead of it being split. So Lundgren in lane 3, Vartanen in lane 5. And there is no lane 8 of Alyssa Sorensen for Utah. So Emily Lundgren out in front here in the first 50 yards of the 200 breaststroke. Lundgren already won in the 100 breast earlier. That was part of 4 consecutive individual wins that the Cougars rattled off in the first set of 7 races. Lundgren and Vartiainen are first and second in this race for the Cougars right now. And Lundgren will push towards the halfway mark. Gibb pool record is 2:12.87 hundredths. A record held by Emily Lundgren. Lundgren has the team record in this event for WSU as well at 2:08.33. And is flying right now. Down towards the 150-yard mark. Minute and a half currently. It is Lundgren, followed by Vartiainen. Then Crystal Liu of Utah in third, up in lane 6. Top of the screen, you can see trailing Vartiainen by a body length. Clock's at 1:54, final 25 for Lundgren in the 200 breaststroke. A decorated career so far for the sophomore out of Chula Vista, California. 4th win of the season, 2nd win tonight for Emily Lundgren at 2:10.63 hundredths of a second. A new Gibb pool record for Emily Lundgren here in the 200-yard breaststroke. She and Alexandra Vartiainen first and second, followed by Hedges, Liu, and Skimmel for Utah. But Lundgren with that Gibb pool record at 2:10.63. And with that, we will go into the 500-yard freestyle. So no 2 heats in this event. In the 500-yard free, Josie Liebzeit of WSU in lane 1, Chloe Thompson of Utah in lane 2, Dory Hatazi for the Cougars in lane 3. Utah's Cameron Daniel lane 4, WSU Lauren Willie lane 5, Taylor Cabasi lane 6 for Utah, Hannah Huarte lane 7 for WSU, Molly Jacobson lane 8 for Utah. Cabasi winner earlier in the 1,000 free, so getting an opportunity now in both of these distance races tonight. Kind of just edged out in lane 5 at the start by Lauren Willie of WSU. I think Willie was initially out in front in the 1,000 as well. Yeah, it would have been Lauren Willie in the 1,000 who was off to a great pace at the start. And we really saw Cabasi middle portion of the 1,000-yard free kind of settle into a nice rhythm and pull back that distance. It was a slim distance at that throughout against Willie, and then was able to overtake Cabasi so that Cabasi could go on to win that 1,000 free. 56 44 hundredths in the first 100 of this 500-yard free. Willie, Cabasi, then Daniel, Pope, Hatazi, Huarte, Thompson, Liebzeit. And you see scores right now, 30-point advantage for Washington State at 109-79 in this Pac-12 Conference dual meet. It will be the last Pac-12 home dual meet for Washington State. So again, the Cougars have Idaho coming up, and then the Pac-12 championships at the end of February, Wednesday, February 28th through Saturday, March 2nd in Federal Way. There'll be a Pac-12 Last Chance on March 3rd, that Sunday. NCAA Championships March 20th to the 23rd in Athens, Georgia. Still Lauren Willie and Taylor Cabesi. Third is Cameron Daniel. Willie of Washington State has one career win. It was in this event last year against Idaho. Again, the Cougars will see tomorrow. Willie out by a slim margin here at this most recent turn. Over first half completed to the 300. Now it should be 350 yards complete out of the 500 free. Cabesi has a slight lead over Willie, kind of similar to what happened over the halfway point of the 1,000-yard free. It's by 0.11 of a second last time to the wall on the left side of your screen. They are first and second, Cabesi and Willie. In third, Chloe Thompson in lane 2 for Utah. Utah has fourth as well, and Cameron Daniel. Larger lead emerging for Cabesi, trying to win both of the long distance events in this meet tonight at Gibb Pool, and Cabesi almost has a body length out in front of Lauren Willie of Washington State. Just passing the 4-minute mark now in the 500-yard freestyle. And Cabesi just rolling. Won a 400 free against Colorado Mesa. 500 free best time came this year, 450 and 75 of a second. This won't quite be that fast for Cabesi, but hearing the bell into the final 50 yards. Cabesi, Willie, Thompson, Hatazi, Daniel, Huarte, Pope, and Liebzeit, the order 1 through 8. So Cabesi has open water down the stretch in the final 25 yards. Cabesi being pressed by Willie. Washington State, great battle for third. That comes inside on lane 3 for Dory Hatazi. Hatazi will take third for Washington State. It goes Cabesi, Willie, Hatazi, Thompson, Daniel, Huarte, Pope, and Liebzeit. Second victory of the night for Taylor Cabesi. They come in the 1,000 and the 500-yard freestyles. And a time of 4:53.94 for Cabesi. But a gutsy effort by Dory Hatazi to come back and get into third for Washington State. So Cabesi, Willie, Hatazi there. Cougars get another win. Opportunity in the 100 fly. Utah with now its 4th win of the night after taking that 500-yard free. In the 100 fly, Clara Anderson in lane 1 for Washington State. Lane 2 is going to be Sam Crew. It'll instead be Crew in lane 3. And then Kim Lanning in lane 4. Malika Yalcin lane 5. Sydney Even lane 6. Kaya Takashige lane 7. 100 fly. We'll have a 10-minute break after this before the 200 individual medley and the 400 freestyle relay. Off the start, great start up top for Kaya Takashige. Clara Anderson as well, bottom of the screen. Nice presence in 4 from Kim Lanigan. It goes Crew, Anderson, Lanigan that order, then Takashige, even, Yalsi. Sam Crew trying to keep the lead in lane 3 for Washington State. Down the home stretch in the 100 fly. Great turn after 75 from Kim Lanigan. And Lanigan first, followed by Crew, then Anderson, Takashige, even, and Yalcin. 5th victory for Utah. Kim Lanigan, the victory, the graduate senior from Boulder, Colorado. In the 100 fly. With that, we will take a break, and then we will come back for the final 2 events, the 200 individual medley and the 400 freestyle relay, with a score to come here in Pullman. Second break, 2 events when we return on Pac-12+. Back in Pullman, the senior day continuing. Washington State and Utah Pac-12 swimming tonight on Pac-12+. And the score right now is Washington State 125, Utah 101, with 2 events to go, the 200 individual medley and the 400 freestyle relay. So that leaves Utah with basically no room for error here going into the final 2 events. Kaya Takashige in lane 1 for Washington State of this 200-yard individual medley. There's Takashige there. Crystal Liu of Utah in lane 2. Ariel Wang of WSU in lane 3. Summer Stanfield of Utah is in lane 4. Emily Lundgren is in lane 5 for WSU. Isabella Risso in lane 6 for Utah. Jules Springer of WSU in lane 7, and Milo Ruthven of Utah in lane 8. The fly, back, breast, free in that order here in the 200-yard individual medley. A 24-point advantage for Washington State in this dual meet, trying to win in their final Pac-12 home dual meet in school history. Lane 3, Ariel Wang off to a good start initially. It would appear maybe the battle for 1-2 come between Summer Stanfield, lane 4, Emily Lundgren in lane 5. It's Stanfield, Lundgren, Springer in that order. Wang, Rizzo, Ruthven, Liu, Takashige. In the backstroke now. Second of these 4 styles, breaststroke, freestyle, will be 3rd and 4th. Stanfield out in front. For Utah in this event, 1st, 2nd, 3rd would have been the way to go to try to grab a 13-point swing if possible, but it's WSU in 2nd, 3rd right now. Stanfield leads in 1st, then Wang, Springer for WSU 2nd and 3rd, followed by Ruthven, Risso, Liu, Lundgren, Takashige. Still Summer Stanfield trying to grab another victory, 1 and the 200 back. Utah took 3 of the last 4 events here before this 200 individual medley, but a big press coming inside from Ariel Wang in lane 3 there in the breaststroke. So now the freestyle to finish it out. Wang trying to come from behind. It was Summer Stanfield controlling the race from the start. Stanfield, Wang, then Springer in 3rd. Stanfield turning it on down the stretch for Utah, trying to win her 2nd event of the night. Washington State, though, is poised to take 2nd and 3rd. Stanfield wins, Wang in 2nd. Lundgren in third, Springer in fourth. Lundgren making up a ton of ground in the breaststroke portion of that 200-yard individual medley. And with those results, Washington State should secure the dual meet despite the second race victory for Summer Stanfield on the night. So Stanfield, Wang, and Lundgren, 1, 2, 3. And that'll take us to the 400-yard freestyle relay. The most you can make up in a relay is plus 13 on the scoreboard. So Washington State, by being able to take second and third, 134 to 111, the Cougars will win the team portion. They want to wrap it up with a relay victory in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Lane 3, Washington State's A relay of Dory Hatazi, Sam Crew, Angela DePaulo, Selena Duran. Lane 4 for Utah, A relay of Lily Milner, Isabella Risso, Madeline Wozniak, Aaron Palmer. Lane 5 for Washington State, the B relay of Emma Wright, Clara Anderson, Skylar Burgach, Haley Grotti. Lane 6 is the B relay for Utah, Reagan Cathcart, Nora Hay, Kyla Yetter, Sophia Carlson. And lane 7, C relay for WSU, Malika Yalcin, Hannah Huarte, Alexis Doherty, Addie Lewis. First 50 yards here for the opening legs. Dory Hatazi out in front of the pack in lane 3, bottom of your screen. Right now the relays A and B in order, 1, 2, 3 for WSU, Utah, and WSU. The C relay for the Cougars in front of the B relay for Utah as well right now. First 100 yards coming and going. Dory Hatazi out in front of Lily Milner for the A relays for Washington State and Utah. Transitions over to Sam Crew and Isabella Risso, first and second. Really great exchange at the blocks for Utah. Risso right there with Crew. Their caps almost dead even, but a really good turn by Crew. They're at the halfway mark of her 100-yard segment. You see each lane right now swimming in order. WSU leading in lane 3. Sam Crew, really impressive second 50 yards of her 100-yard stretch. Angela DePaulo, Madeline Wozniak now the first two out, and Washington State B is challenging Utah's A. That's Skylar Burgach in lane 5. Still the lanes in their orders. Halfway through the 100 for DePaulo. WSU's locked up the team victory in this dual meet. Trying to win here in the final relay. Cougars with 7 event wins, Utah with 6 coming into this final one of the night. The Cougars want their 8th. Anchor leg Selena Duran for Washington State, out ahead of Aaron Palmer. Duran with Palmer chasing. Washington State's B relay in third of Haley Grotti. Palmer really giving some push to Duran here. 50 yards remaining for Duran and Palmer. Palmer, who was a winner earlier in the 50 free for Utah. Duran trying to hold off into the final 25. It'll be Grotti and Carlson of Washington State and Utah's B following behind, and then Addie Lewis. Cougars trying to close with event win number 8. Selena Duran out in front of Aaron Palmer, and Duran holds off Palmer in the 400-yard freestyle relay as Washington State wins this dual meet over Utah in Pullman. Time of 3:20 and 46 hundredths of a second. That is a give pool record for the A relay team of Washington State. The second place finish for Utah's A would have been a give pool record as well, but it is the Cougars with that pool record and a dual meet victory tonight over the Utah Utes. Fans on their feet for the final home meet and the final Pac-12 meet between these two schools. 145 to 117 is the final score, with Washington State heading across the border short ways to take on Idaho tomorrow at 10 a.m. You can find them over across the border in Moscow, Idaho. The Cougars win it tonight, 145-117 on senior night. A big thanks to all of you for being with us. For Jared Prangruber, the rest of our Pac-12 Plus crew, this is Trevor Williams saying so long from Pullman, Washington.